As you can see, I have this beautiful, oh, do you hear that sound? That's how you know it's a good one. Okay? It's not like a bass drum like dunk, dunk. It's got like a nice, I just want to slap it because it's so good. Have you ever slapped your mama? Something is so good. Well, never slap your mama, okay? You should not be slapping your mama. But what you should be doing is picking a good watermelon. And this particular watermelon meets all of my current 4 categories. And there might even be more than 4, but let's just see how many pop up, okay? Of choosing a wonderful, delicious, ripe, beautiful watermelon. And what I've been noticing lately, that even the seedless watermelons are having seeds in them. So, you know, God and nature cannot be stopped. We try to render these watermelons seedless and say that they're seedless watermelons, but there's still going to be black seeds inside and little white baby seeds inside. You can't stop nature. If a watermelon is meant to have seeds, it's going to have freaking seeds, baby. So as I've already said, one of the factors of how you can tell a watermelon is ripe is the sound it makes. It should sound like a tight sort of timpani drum sound, or like a tom drum. And if you guys have heard like a drum fill on a song, you know, it's not the kick drum sound, which is more like a, okay? This is more like a tom, like doom, 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 doo-doo-doom, doo-doo-doom. That's what this sounds like to me. Yo, give me that watermelon. Julie, I see you. This is mine. Julie will actually take your watermelon if you're not looking. Island, yo, oh my gosh, I've got like 2 of the freaking gangsters in the house here. Let's go, you guys. Okay, so this watermelon, that's one of the factors. Next factor, dark green. Look how nice and dark, rich green this bad boy is. All right, that's factor number 2. Look at that. Look at that. If it's light green, that means that it's not ripe. That means that it's underripe. Okay. Also, I'm getting like a workout just holding this up to the camera. Oh my gosh, it's engaging my core and my shoulders. If your watermelon is like ridiculously heavy for how big it is, let's see if I can hold it with one hand. Oh my gosh. That's reason number 3, how you can tell it's ripe. You could have a watermelon that fits all the categories. It's dark green. It sounds good. It's heavy. Or, excuse me, if it's not heavy, then it's not ripe. Another factor. See that spot right there? It's not really showing up too well on camera. If I get it a little bit closer to the lens, you can kind of see the spot. People call that the sunspot. It's actually the opposite of the sunspot. You don't just see watermelon sitting in the field like that. That makes absolutely no sense at all. That's how it sits. It's yellow on the bottom, just like the belly of a turtle is yellow. Greenback, yellow belly. All right, that's where it sits on the ground. Okay, if this spot is not nice and deep, rich yellow, like the color of like corn on the cob or something like that, you can tell I'm hungry because it's day 37 of my juice fast, then don't get it. If this yellow spot is just kind of like still light green colored, or if it's just like whitish, pale yellow, do not buy that watermelon. All right, now I'm sure there's other things you can look at the watermelon for to tell if it's ripe, such as, look at that geometric pattern around the stem area. Doesn't that look beautiful? No watermelon is the same. they're all like a snowflake, but they really are. Okay, so that one there is like beautifully geometric. See those lines? Like how many? You got a line there, another line there. It looks like a flower. That's beautiful. Some are more muddled and don't look that great. Okay, these are all signs of good development and growth and steady development since the watermelon was still in its seedling stage. All right, so I am fully confident, and I will even taste test it on camera for you guys in a second here. I'm fully confident that this is a sweet, delicious, ripe, heavy, full of water, full of the God force of life watermelon. So if you think that I did good, give me a thumbs up, all right? And then if you give me a thumbs up and you think that I did good and we try it and it's like a really delicious watermelon, then, you know, sub if you haven't already. Really, really hook it up if this bad boy's good, all right? Also, I get a lot of my stuff lately from Aldi. So I don't know if you guys are onto the Aldi kick. I'm blessed to have one right near to my apartment, and they just built it. And a lot of the Winn-Dixies here in Florida are getting turned into Aldi. So, you know, be on the lookout for an Aldi near you. And I would recommend to see if you can start shopping at Aldi, guy, because it's actually like where I get most of my stuff now. The produce is just, it's good quality. It's ripe. It's inexpensive. It's very economical. And I noticed, like, I don't think a lot of people go there specifically for the produce. So there seems to always be good selection and good supply. All right. Here I am going to try this watermelon. I just dug out a little bit of the end with my spoon. All right. And this is actually typically the ends here are the least sweet part. Okay. So, that's good, guys. That's good. I hope you guys didn't see that. I had to hawk 2 of the watermelon because I'm not eating the watermelon right now since I'm on a juice fast. But we are going to juice this puppy. What you guys are going to see me do is just prepare this watermelon for juicing. Some of you guys have seen me before, and what I like to do is actually juice the rind with the watermelon. I've grown accustomed to the taste. It does cut the sweetness a little bit, but I think it tastes better. It tastes more full. There's more body to the juice, and there are so many more nutrients and benefits to juicing the rind. There is citrulline in the rind, which helps your blood vessels and lymphatic vessels to expand and loosen, and helps your circulation, helps you detox. All right, that's perfect. That's what we're doing when we're drinking these juices, guys. All right. It's also going to have chlorophyll, that color green. How beautiful is that? That even the rind of a watermelon undergoes photosynthesis. I mean, that is just so beautiful. All right, so let's discard these ends. Even though I juiced the rind, I cut the ends off because it's got the hard stem end, and I don't want that going to the little bit of the rind, because you still want a delicious, sweet watermelon. All right, next up, we got the ends cut off, both ends. See that? Is we're just going to cut this bad boy in half. Oh yeah. I think this is a good one, guys, for sure. It tasted good, tasted sweet, crisp, full of juice. Oh yeah. Look at that. Woo! Oh, divine. Ta-da! It's just honestly delicious. All right, so I kind of have like a little bit of like, you know, limited space or whatever, so I'll put this one off to the side for now and take a little drink of my green juice. Cheers to you guys. Oh my gosh. I'm actually going to make green juice and apple juice later after this. I just heard some really good news, guys. I can't really talk about it too much because it's related to my employer, but I just heard some really, really good news. I'm in a really good mood. I just talked to my buddy Josh Fit Vegan. Go check out his YouTube channel as well. He's the man. We're on the same journey. We're going against the system. You know, the system wants you to be sick. And they want you to live just long enough to where they can suck a bunch of money out of you from being on their drugs. They make you sick with the food. They keep you sick with the drugs, and they keep you living too long to know better. Well, guess what? The wisdom has been passed on too long. All right? People are getting too smart. Google is too good. AI is too good. All right? And some of us that have discernment and we're blessed enough to be able to see through the nonsense clearly, whereas other people, they never will. They're like John Cena. They can't see anything. Okay? All right? We're the ones who are standing on the battle. You guys are the ones who are standing on the battlefield. And it all starts with being fit, healthy, lean, strong, proud. Okay? Yet also humble. I bow to each and every one of you guys. I respect each and every one of you guys wholeheartedly. Okay? This is not an easy planet. Okay? I've not always been perfect. It's taken me 39 years to get where I'm at, and I'm still going where I'm going. You know, live in the now and just love the journey of it all. There were some times, and I even said on my lives a couple times, you know, I regret saying this a little bit. I was like, you know, juicing it can be a tedious thing. And you know what? Screw that. Who cares? It's fun. Who else gets to live on juice for 40 days? You know? Who else has done that in their life? A lot of people, but relatively few who have been liquidarian for 40 days and 40 nights. Proud of that. And I would do it again. I don't care how monotonous and how expensive and whatever it is of preparing the juice. I'm deciding to have a better attitude about everything in my life. Abundance mindset for everything and for everyone. There is no scarcity. There is no lack on this planet, on this plane, I should say. Planet, little plane. Well, what does that mean? Is it part of a larger plane? Perhaps. And what do we mean by plane? What does that really mean? Feel me? Does that mean that it might not be a sphere? Perhaps. Perhaps that's exactly what it means. Guys, the more that you kind of like use your discernment and trust but verify different people's opinions that are out there, the more you are going to realize that we live in an utter video game. Some people call it simulation theory. Some people say that it's impossible in quantum physics, that this is a prime reality. This must be a derivative reality of some other reality. Oh my God, math and science. You guys are just lost. It's like, what does that even mean? It means that we are souls inhabiting a physical plane, and that our energetic levels of our body streaming in from higher degrees of consciousness beyond the physical plane are where the true reality is derived from. You create the physical plane from the mental plane. Okay? The Shiva and the Shakti, the Holy Trinity. You know, the mother, the father, and the offspring. This is known in every single tradition. This is known everywhere around the world, that we don't live in a base reality. And we don't need to confuse it and confuse everyone with quantum physics, scratching their head, all these scientists like, oh my God, how can it be? Einstein's equation was wrong. Yeah, it was wrong. Okay? All that stuff is wrong, guys. Do you think Shakespeare wrote all those books? Come on, guys. You think, here's another weird one. If you're all like, whoo, about the pyramids, oh my God, it's impossible. There must have been some sort of technology that levitated the blocks or 3D printed them of some sort of like granite compound that formed into these blocks. It's impossible to have used ramps and elephants and slaves to have built the pyramids like that. Well, it is impossible to build the pyramids like that. But why are you stuck in head scratching mode? You know? Let's just get down to brass tacks and face reality. That it's not just the pyramids that were built mysteriously. Woo! Let me just take a second to just let that just like exude through my tissues. Because you guys have seen like the whole Wizard of Oz thing where it's like, oh, don't look at the guy behind the curtain. Just keep watching the movie as it's playing out, right? Well, that's what the pyramids are. It's a perfect, they're perfect for that. Okay? Everyone's like, oh, the pyramids, oh, the monuments, oh, you know, the Machu Picchu and all that. Okay? I'm like, what are these cathedral buildings? What are these old buildings in Europe even frickin' doing there? And in America. But especially some of the old ones in Europe are just like, wow. Okay, if we were a horse and buggy society in the 1700s leading into the 1800s, okay, with a population of people that supposedly were shipped across the Atlantic Ocean, that nobody was supposedly here, and that we landed on the East Coast and then we Lewis and Clark'd our way across a vast wilderness of Native Americans and bears and wolves and mountain ranges and etc. to get all these people and all these supplies to build out Los Angeles and Seattle and Portland, Oregon. Right? Impossible to have built all of that stuff. It's impossible even on the East Coast to have built Washington, D.C. and all that other stuff. All these cathedral buildings. I'm from Minneapolis, St. Paul area. The St. Paul Cathedral. The Capitol building of Minnesota that looks exactly like the Capitol building in Argentina, in Washington, D.C., in all the states, in the Philippines. What is this like dome structured architecture that's all around the world built by the same people? And we're just taught to just, oh, don't, the pyramids though, whew, that's just a way bigger mind boggler. Yeah, well, we're not dumb anymore, so, uh-oh. You guys have unleashed the army of smart people who think with discernment and who don't get caught up in the video game and who are like, oh, the smartest people in the world are these quantum string theory people who think only with their left brain, so they're half retarded. And they're just scratching their head. Oh my God, we don't live in a prime reality. Yeah, catch up to the program there, egghead. They'll do and think whatever they're told to do and however they're taught to think. Don't be a sheeple. Just like the doctors, guys. That's more my niche. All right? That's Josh's niche, my friend. They go to these schools and they're so pompous and arrogant. They think that they're so smart. Okay? They're like, oh, well, you need chemotherapy. You know, you have the big C, so you're going to need some chemotherapy, actually. And that's going to cure you from the big C because, you know, 1 in 4 people get it, and it looks like you're the unlucky winner of the C lottery. Doesn't matter how you got it. Don't pay attention to that. It's not important. What's important now is you get radiation and chemotherapy to kill the C, and You know, 1 in 3 chance you'll survive another year. Rather do that than die now, because I think that you've got 4 weeks to live. Okay, well, yeah, you know, I could go that route, Doc. I could go that route, Doc. And especially since you have a degree and you smell like, you know, like you might drive a Tesla or something, and, you know, you're wearing a white lab coat. Okay, I put my faith and confidence into you, you know. But I'm just going to have to respectfully disagree on that one and say that what I'm going to do instead, with all due respect, is eat watermelon. Oh, and hold on. I'm going to mix in some of these bad boys, lemons. And that's what I'm going to have for the unforeseeable future. Because people have cured themselves of the sea countless times with something as simple as that. Or a water fast. Or a 40-day juice fast. Or eating raw vegan. Or adding in herbs on top of all of those protocols. And stopping the actual cause of what's happening. And not just buying into labeling groups of symptoms as diseases. That is a false... It's almost like it should insult your intelligence by now to actually give any sort of credence to that at all. The underlying cause is what they're doing in here, okay? So they can give you pills to put in there that are going to keep you sick and keep you alive just long enough to soak you dry financially. And then you pass away, they take a little bit more money, and then they just keep it going. All right? Because if people live too long, guys, we start to get too smart. But just like how I was saying in the beginning of the video, even these little seeds, watermelons have seeds. All right? If they genetically modify a fruit fly to not have eyeballs, and then they mate a fruit fly that does not have any eyeball genetics in them, because their eyeball genetics have been completely removed, with another fruit fly that has no eyeball genetics. They mate those two fruit flies together. Their offspring are, yeah, unfortunately not going to have eyeballs either. And then they mate that offspring with another offspring from a different pair of fruit flies that have no eyeballs. And so that offspring also has no eyeballs. So these two offsprings of parents that have no eyeballs, and they themselves have no eyeballs, they mate. And then their offspring also has no eyeballs. But keep that process going. And what's going to happen? Eventually, fruit flies are going to be born with perfect sight. Anomalously. How? Impossible, right? According to the science, I should say this side, the scientific left brain F-tards, pardon my French, that's impossible. Must be a mistake. Must somehow have contaminated something. Some sperm got thrown in there somehow. No, it's because they're refusing to buy into the fact that these seedless watermelons will not stay seedless forever. Okay? There's little seeds already in there. Okay? Nature, God, the universe, prana, ether, chi, whatever you want to call it, consciousness, the force, life force, it cannot be stopped. It cannot be stopped. And that's what we represent. That's who we are. We are the good guys. Yes. The non-dual people are like, there is no good or bad. Okay, go live up there with Eckhart Tolle and just go be a complete waste of a life then. Just enjoy just being high on your own shit and just disregard everybody else. While we're here, we're supposed to live here because it teaches our higher self lessons that we then take into the higher levels. Those levels beyond this physical realm. Our soul. The knowledge of our soul. It gets richened by what we do in these lower levels. So yeah, go be an egghead. Go be an Eckhart Tolle. Go be one of those people. It's like, oh, there was no good or bad. There is no dualism. There is no dark or light. That's just false, whatever. No, we are the good guys, all right? And we're going to eat our fruit. Feel me? We're going to eat our fruit. We're going to juice our watermelons. Look at how good that looks. We're going to add a little lemon in there because that's our astringent factor that's going to help clean everything out. All right? And that's going to keep us smart, strong, healthy, in control of our thoughts and emotions, in control of ourselves, fearless. When we see injustice, we will speak it. We will take action to the degree that we are capable, that we don't jeopardize our own freedoms or our own life, to the degree that we can, to the degree that I can talk about certain things in kind of like a philosophical manner, using like acronyms and abbreviations because of algorithms and shadow banning and all this other nonsense. That we're going to keep it clean. We're going to do what we have to do to get this message out there, get more people raising their families on fruits, vegetables, nuts and seeds, all raw, if you have to, lightly steam, or if you're in a northern climate, or if it's just in the winter and you're feeling kind of like you're a little cold, your body temp, and just like you're feeling cold, then you're going to want to eat warm stuff. Or if you just kind of feel like digesting too much salads or whatever is getting hard for you, then juice them up, baby. Juice it up. Or lightly steam it. Don't be adding a million spices. Don't be adding, tons of salt, tons of oil. And just keep it healthy. And then just focus on living. Focus on giving your gift back to society. We're building our own utopia as we go. Yeah. Doesn't that feel good, guys? Of course it does, because that's how we're meant to live. That is my mission. That is my mission. And how am I doing it? Because I am the anti-Gordon Ramsay, apparently. All right? Gordon Ramsay is just going to be like, all right, what you need to do is just splash a shit ton of salt on it. And then you just need to heat up a pan as hot as it goes. And then squirt in some soybean oil. And then take a dead duck carcass and just roast it in there, deep fry the shit out of it. Okay? And then feed it to your baby in a liquefied form. Just so they get the taste of meat when they're young and grow up to be big and strong and destroy their freaking organs in the process. Enough is enough. See, our generation, our forefathers were just like more like, they were fiery and everything like that. But they were more so like, their fieriness came from, I think they still like, how do I say that? They still like, they had hope for everybody or something like that, in like almost like an innocent sort of like really hopeful manner. And then as the years ticked by and humanity wasn't doing jack shit on a grand scheme to go towards this direction, little by little, okay? And now we're coming in here, we're taking the reins, and we're like, yeah, obviously, I ain't got time to waste on somebody who's not ready for it in this lifetime. It's not going to happen in this lifetime. I already know that. I'm just living my life, spreading the gospel, spreading the good news, okay? Helping people live and enjoying the process. And in a very short time, relatively, we're all going to be dead. And the people that we're teaching now who are younger than us, they're going to carry the torch. And there's going to be eventually a critical mass of people where, just like my friend Josh said today, he said something that sounded exactly like me. He said that when he started becoming more fit, eating more raw vegan foods, other people around him saw, became inspired, started doing the same thing he did, and getting the same results that he got without him saying a word. Just by his energy of just being in that room. And people being like, you look different, what are you doing? Or like, maybe that started out like, screw that guy, he thinks he's so cool. Wait, it's actually me that's an a-hole. Maybe I should actually open my mind and do what that kid does to get the results. I don't know how old my friend Josh is, but he looks amazing. He looks young, vibrant, mostly raw vegan from what I understand. I'm 39. I've never felt better in my life. I'm on day 37 of a juice fast. Look at the shoulder shreds. Look at the biceps. I don't really have abs as much, guys, because I was really fat when I was younger. But I kind of have abs a little bit. You know? I could, have a little bit more definition. But that's mostly just like loose skin from when I was 300 pounds in high school. I've had it kind of like my whole life. But it'll still, tighten up. I mean, I'm happy with where I'm at, guys. That's pretty good for a 40-year-old person. I don't need to be like some sort of fitness model stud or take, never going to take steroids. I would never do HRT or anything like that. All right? Don't dye my hair. You can see I've got plenty of grays on the sides, whatever. A little bit in my beard. I'm just a normal person. I've lived, as my dad would say, it's been rode hard and put away wet, like a dirt bike or a horse or something like that. Okay? I've lived life to the fullest. I consider myself basically like this is my retirement project. Okay? This is me giving back finally. I've been a yoga instructor, I've been a personal trainer, I've been corporate manager. I've done it all. I have a remote job, I have a small apartment because I'm just living a minimalist life because it seemed like that was the way to go for me, to just simplify and take a little time to figure everything out. I thought I had everything figured out because I kept my 100-pound weight loss off for 2.5 decades, almost 23 years. And that's when God, the universe again, whatever you want to call the omnipotent, omniscient force that is everything. This is God, everything is. Okay? It's just everything experiencing itself through itself at all times. Through us, especially. Just higher degrees of consciousness streaming into something. Alright? That's when I was shown the truth about our architecture, those clues to our past, that there was a reset and we're living under a lie right now, a bigger lie than I thought. That when you look at the sun on a clear day with lower humidity, it doesn't wrap around anything. It just keeps going straight all the way back. What the hell does that mean? When you see that with your own two eyes, when you see that a sunset doesn't go like this around something, you see that it just goes way out straight into the distance until it's so small that it vanishes. That blows your freaking mind. Okay? That happened to me last year. I know that's kind of late in life. Some of you young studs and young studettes are just already on that tip and you're like 20. Like I told you, I bow to you. You're going to be carrying the torch after me. How much is a generation? 20 years? You're the next generation. You're the next gen. Okay? And you can be intermingled with this generation. All right? We're all carrying the torch together right now, but I'm just saying you're going to be alive probably longer than me, probably. But I'm going to give you a run for your money, baby, because I'm going to be alive for a long-ass time. Oh, yeah. God willing. Because I'm going to be drinking the juice. I'm going to be juice fasting. I'm going to be water fasting. I'm going to be eating the raw foods. I'm going to be doing my exercises. That's what you got. I'm going to end on that in honor of my friend Josh. Such a great dude. Check out his YouTube channel, Josh Fit Vegan. All right? I'm speaking good energy on his name because I want this man to succeed, and I know he will. All right? Fit. Okay? That's what vegans and raw vegans and just people in general, especially in the fitness realm that I see them at the gym. They're at the gym 10 times more time than me. They're putting in way more effort. I used to be that guy. Working out 7 days a week, or 7 times a day, I mean, with my personal training clients and all that. And I looked just marginally better than I do right now. Maybe a little thicker and maybe a little bit more shredded, like literal veins on the abdomen. I had burned through all the abdominal fat that you kind of saw earlier, okay? But I'm still proud of this because this is like me barely working out in comparison to what I did before. Why aren't my muscles wasting away when I'm just eating fruits and just drinking juices for 40 days? Well, juices for 40 days, and then when I'm eating food, I'm mostly eating fruits and some salads. Why am I not wasting away? This is my natural body size, okay? I'm just a bigger person. Guess I'm blessed, okay? It's because I've also put the work in. You've got to put the work in. And when I say exercise, that doesn't mean you need to go into the weight room and do squats and do all of this stuff. It's going to stiffen you up. When you become stiff, it's so bad for you. Your muscles become so like overpacked and over thickened. It prevents, in TCM, traditional Chinese medicine, it prevents the flow of qi from going through your body. And then you get qi stagnation, you get lymphatic stagnation. Okay, right now I feel so loose. I feel like my fascia is just so loose because all I've been doing is yoga, breath work, a little bit of qigong, a little bit of running. That's what I've been doing this whole time for 40 days. I did some boxing workouts. I did some time in the gym. But I'm just, and then calisthenics. That's all I do anymore. When I do dips, I go like all the way down. All right? When I do pull-ups, I go all the way up and all the way down. Okay? What do you usually see guys doing? Little mini reps. Okay? Full range of motion. So what that's going to do, guys, is that's going to keep all of your vascular system, all of your lymphatic drainage system. It's going to keep your heart, it's going to keep everything conditioned. It's going to keep the blood flowing and the lymph flowing. And I was eating chicken broccoli rice for the most part for 2.5 decades, 23 years, after my 100-pound weight loss in high school. And, all right, I had success on that. It's one of the farthest things from, raw vegan, but it's not a standard American diet. It's not going to Checkers and, Wendy's all the time. All right, when I would have my cheats, even my cheats would be more healthy. Okay? So it was discipline for that amount of time. But I can't help but wonder, what if I was on this tip that whole time? Yo! Look at that. Woo! That is going to go into the juicer. Okay? Look guys, this is me naturally. This is the energy flowing. Do you want to feel this good? You would probably be shocked at how much crazy shit is going on in my life right now. And I can still channel in this energy and just smile about it all. Because like I said, we're only here for a short time. We're here for, what do they say? We're here for a good time, not a long time. Something like that. That's freaking true. I can still be to all like the woo, yeah, none of it matters. To all those morons. I can be just happy and like high on life as possible. And I can still be the most serious, scary person in the world. And you can ask me offline about some confrontations that I've had to have with people to defend the freedoms and the rights of other people around me because nobody else was doing anything. I'm not afraid of that at all. Okay? You want to become fearless? You want to become full of energy? Do you want to not let the world get you down? Do you want to raise a healthy family and not be an idiot like my sister who stuffs her fat kids full of sugar junk? Yeah, that's a truth bomb for the people who are here. That's a hard pill to swallow. Don't be an idiot, guys. Just stop. Just stop. I'm not here to bash you like that. And when I say that, I'm talking to my younger self. Who knows what my life would have been by now had I stuck to this the whole time. I just didn't know better. At least I did what I could with what I had. Everyone only does their best. And that's what I think you guys are being called to do right now, is step it up to the next level. You know what you need to do. You already know what you need to do. Start whittling away the junk. Start getting your steps in. If you're not on a workout plan already, join a gym that has a group fitness program like Crunch Fitness, LA Fitness. Start going to the classes, even if you're a dude or even if you're like a young person and there's kind of like some aunties there and stuff like that, still go and have fun. Let them love on you. Let the community love on you like I'm loving on you right now. Let us lift you up. I'm taking an unlimited amount of people with me. Unlimited. Unlimited. I'm taking with me. Let's go. We are on the way. We're going. We're going. All right? We're home, but we're also on our way. We're on our mission. This is our journey. This is our path. There's no stopping us whatsoever. There's no stopping us whatsoever. There's nothing can stop us, guys. We're doing this. We're free. We're free. How good does that feel? We're free from popping these to cure things like the big C and these made up BS false doctrines that we're living under. We're free of that stuff because we can see it. We're looking behind the curtain, and when you look behind the curtain, you see a weak little imp running everything that has no power. And that's the game we're playing, guys. All you got to do is look behind the curtain and you realize that nothing has power over you. You're in control. You're in the driver's seat. You are the soul and the consciousness behind this amazing vessel that we must maintain and take reverence for because it is a gift that is given to us by the Creator. Okay? When somebody gives you a gift, you don't just trash it. You revere in it. You give it love and reverence. Okay? And that is the energy that I give all to you guys. Love and reverence and respect. You know, this is a hard thing that we're doing. This is a hard place. But you're doing it. And then it starts to become like fun. The fun type of hard where you're like, give me more, baby. Let's take more people on. Let's do more consultations. Let's be more strict on our diet. Woo! Let's be more self-disciplined. Let's wake up earlier. Let's go to bed earlier. Let's drink less. Let's cut the toxic, moronic, asinine fools out of our life and say, I'm just done. And they're gone. And then allow new people to come in. That's where we're at with everything, guys. And they can come back around if they get some sense knocked into them by the universe. But it might take a couple lifetimes. We're just on a different level, guys. That's why I have no time with everybody else. That's why I'm not going to get upset and frustrated like some of my predecessors did. That not everybody's catching on, because I'm fully aware that not everybody's going to catch on. And I've got no time for them. I've only got time for you lovelies. And until next time, I will talk again. Woo, that was a crazy one, but thanks for sticking around. Love you guys so much. And just hang in there. Until next time, I will talk soon. Much love. Peace.